me guess, you're pressing on this video because you've been through more failed fitness journeys than you can count. You've tried everything, but every single time you start, you always give up. You don't see any progress. You don't lose any weight over and over and over. And you're sick of it. You want to make a change. You want to be different. You want to get your dream body. So you press on this video in hopes of finding the miracle answer. And you know what? It might just be here because I am somewhat of a magician myself, so I will pull out of my magic hat all the reasons why you cannot lock in at the gym and simultaneously give you 5 tips on how to lock in at the gym. Before you're thinking, what does this girl know about locking in at the gym? What the heck? This is what I used to look like before, and this is what I look like now. It may have taken 3 years in between both of those images, but I got there. And if my lazy ass could get there, that means you can get there. Step 1 on how to finally lock in at the gym. Put the 2-week challenges down, okay? I'm sorry to break it to you, but fitness does not have a destination, okay? You don't just start your workout journey and there's a finish to it. It's the rest of your life. It shouldn't even be called a journey because there's no destination. It's just a road that you just keep walking down. Sometimes it gets super thorny, and sometimes it gets super nice and beautiful roses and flowers, and then it gets thorny again, and then flowers again, and that is the rest of your life. When you get your dream body, you still have to maintain it. You don't just get your dream body and then, what to do? This is me for the rest of my life. No, you still have to work out. Fitness needs to become a habit in your lifestyle that you do all the time. When you do 2-week challenges, you're conditioning your brain to think that fitness has a 2-week span. Like, do it for this amount of time and then you get fit, and that's how it works. No. Also, 2-week challenges really only work for the population that's already at small body fat percentage and is also prone to gaining muscle quickly. Somebody like me, if I did an abs in 2 weeks challenge, even if I cleaned up my diet, I wouldn't have abs in 2 weeks. To see the progress that you want to see, it's gonna take a lot longer than 2 weeks. I am personally very against any challenges. 75 hard, 75 soft, 75 goon streak, 75 edge streak, none of it. Step 2, stop being friends with people who don't support you. Why do you expect to reach your goals if you surround yourself with people who have no intention of reaching their own goals? They're constantly dragging themselves down and doing nothing with their lives. How are you gonna do something with your life? And something else that falls under this umbrella is being friends with people who don't understand fitness or wanting to get fit, and so they project onto you insecurities that they have. Like, if you want to get in shape, that makes me jealous because I'm not in shape, so I'm going to tell you that it's unhealthy. And I know what you're thinking, nobody does that. Yes, they do, and it's in subtle ways. Like, you can skip the gym. Like, I think you're being too obsessive about it. And that's the same people who were cheering me on for my 10,000 calorie challenge, my 12-hour depression rot in my bed with crumbs up in the bed, and my 48-hour Fortnite streak. Y'all were saying I'm so healthy and happy when I'm doing that, but then when I make a positive change in my life, apparently it's crickets. Like, my God, ew. Get those people out of your life. They're not helping you. They're not adding to your life. If it's a family member, you're screwed, buddy. I don't know what to tell you. Like, block and report them? I don't know. You should support your decision to make a healthy lifestyle change. Showing concern is fine, but if they're telling you that what you're doing isn't healthy, even though it 100% is, you don't need those people in your life, baby. Number 3, stop waiting for a perfect situation. Stop saying, I'm gonna start on Monday because who starts their fitness journey on a Thursday? There is never a situation in life where your life is so perfect that you could just add fitness in. Do you need a perfect situation to brush your teeth? No, because even if you didn't have a toothbrush or toothpaste, what would you do? You would drive to the grocery store and buy it and brush your teeth. Why? Because you don't want to be smelly breath McGee. So why do you prioritize brushing your teeth, taking a shower, brushing your hair, but you won't prioritize going to the gym? And I'm not saying you have to lift weights. I'm not saying you even have to go to the gym, but just to be active and just to have physical exercise at least 3 times a week is like bare minimum for human beings in order to stay healthy. And that is something that is not going to be easy every time. Sometimes you're gonna have the worst day of all time, but that doesn't mean that you say, I'm having a bad day, so I'm not gonna go to the gym. First of all, the gym raises your dopamine levels so you'll have a better day. Second of all, telling yourself that the gym shouldn't be included on a bad day is telling yourself that going to work out is a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to work out. It adds to your day, it adds to your joy, it adds to your pleasure. What? It doesn't need to be this thing where, oh, I don't want to go. Of course you don't want to. If you have to force it into your day, you should still do it. Number 4, take baby steps, okay? I always say to look at fitness as a relationship, okay? You meet somebody, there's certain steps you take before you have children with them and marry them, right? You go on a first date. You meet them for the first time. You hold hands for the first time. You smooch for the first time. And then the next things come, and then you get married and you have a baby, right? You don't just jump into the deep end and just marry some person you just met yesterday. It could be freaking Jeffrey Dahmer reincarnated. So why are you getting married to fitness on the very first day? Why are you going from not knowing fitness at all, I don't even know you, to getting married to it, working out 7 days a week, doing 10,000 steps a day, only drinking matcha, only drinking green tea, and being in a calorie deficit, and never eating an unhealthy food ever again, and never taking an unhealthy action ever again, even though you've never even talked to fitness, right? Take baby steps. 10% of an improvement is better than 0% of an improvement, or a 20% improvement and then a 0% improvement the next day. If you just start out by, you know what, I am a so insanely unfit individual, all I'm gonna start out with is raising my step count by 2,000 steps a day. Do that consistently for 2 weeks, then okay, I'm gonna be brave and I'm gonna start going to the gym. Go to the gym 3 times a week. That's it, 3 times a week. But when you've done that consistently for 2 months, then you can add more. Okay, now I'm gonna change my diet. Now I'm gonna try to add 4 days a week, add 5 days a week. That's when you start to add things like that. You don't just go like, yeah, I don't know how to swim, but I think I'm gonna jump into the deep end. Like, that's stupid. That's stupid. And on that note, that brings me to number 5, last but not least. Stop being afraid of looking stupid. Stop being afraid of failure. You probably do look stupid in the gym. I'm not gonna lie. If you're a complete beginner, you're probably doing something wrong, and somebody might see you and think, she's doing that wrong. But guess what? You also looked stupid when you were a baby trying to learn how to walk. But did your parents pick you up and go, ew, it looks stupid, I'm not teaching it how to walk anymore? No, you still had to learn how to walk. So if you want to learn to not look stupid at the gym, you have to go through the stupid phase. It's impossible. You could sit in your house for hours and practice form before you go, but it's inevitable that you might look stupid at some point. It's inevitable. Even people who've been going for years, there's people that look at them and have the hugest ego and they think, they're not doing that right. I've been going to the gym for 3 years. I still get people coming up to me and being like, you're not doing that right. And I just look at them like, who gives a fuck? Like, genuine, who cares that I'm not doing it right? Because it's not hurting anybody. It's not hurting you. It's not hurting me. The last thing you're gonna, sorry, I'm gonna go a little off topic, but the last thing you're ever gonna catch me doing is walking up to somebody and correcting their form. What am I? Their designated coach? What am I, God? Like, that's none of my business. If you're not going to literally die, I am not stepping in. And it never gets to that point, let me tell you that. So yeah, not go to the gym just because, well, you might look stupid. Who cares? The world is still gonna turn, like, gonna move on at the end of the day. Like, you might think you look stupid and they're gonna forget your face in an hour. Like, doesn't matter. Just because some random person thinks you look stupid doesn't mean that you shouldn't go. It's just not fair to yourself. Also, at the end of the day, these people aren't really thinking those things about you. You're just projecting that onto them, and that's not really fair to them either because they're a stranger and you're just like designating them as a rude person, when in reality, you're just reflecting your own thoughts on that person. So yeah, you need to lock in, baby. So I hope you take these tips and you take them to heart and you actually lock in. And if there's one thing you could take from this video is that my biceps look really good in this lighting. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.